Hey guys, Yugi for all here. I'm just gonna kind of do a brief collection video because I'm really slacking on making videos. Just life's been so crazy and been busy, and I'm just gonna some stuff that I have here before I put it away into storage and for safekeeping. I'm just gonna kind of go over what I collect and what I see value in, or what I just personally like and just want the card. So first, I have my one and only BGS slab is a BPT Jinzo. This was one of the first Jinzos I ever got as a kid. So having one in a slab and protected is just I needed to have one. Jinzo's by far probably my favorite monster, just for nostalgia reasons and personal reasons beyond that. But this card is just extremely beautiful, and I think the BPTs are still a little undervalued, but they're definitely creeping up there. Next, there is the Card of Sanctity. So this card is just like a really iconic Yugi card. Nothing too crazy about it other than Yugi himself using it. Next, another Jinzo. So this is a retro pack. I think these are really undervalued. The ultra rarity on them is just absolutely stunning, and this one's kind of a bleeder. It's hard to pick up on camera, but it's not too crazy, but it's still really awesome card to have. This Barrel Dragon. So this card is probably one of the most iconic cards for me. Bandit Keith and Joey Duel, just really awesome. This card is a bleeder. It's so hard to pick up on camera, but it's absolutely stunning. This card is absolutely perfect, other than being off center, top to bottom. That's, I think, the only reason it got the 9. But I'm really okay with collecting 8s, 9s, and 10s as long as they are first edition or they really mean something to me. Reflect Bounder. So another like really iconic card for me with Joey and Esperoba in the Battle City. Just because that's when the first time you see Jinzo, and then this card, and it's just really awesome. I love the artwork. It's just the OG stuff artwork is so simple, and I just really enjoy it. Grave Robber, another really awesome card for me. Joey's probably one of my favorite characters, so having this card in my collection is just a big one for me. And like I said, I'm okay with 9s. I think 9s are pretty much the new 10s in regard to people trying to collect, because they're just so priced out of getting 10s, that 9s, and I think so 8s are the new 9s and 9s are the new 10s. So I think if the market starts to drop, you're going to see these start to drop as well. But at the end of the day, like, I'm okay with 8s, 9s, and 10s, so it doesn't really bother me. As long as the card is clean and deserves that grade, then I have no problem with it. And most of the time, it's just because I just really want the card. Jinzo. So this is a nice reverse foiling. Super beautiful. I think the only reason it got the 9 was because of the off-centering on the back, and then top to bottom here on the front. But other than that, it's so clean, and the foiling just really pops. Invader of Darkness. So this is you can really see the bleed on the camera, and that's just showing you how much bleed is in this card. So I think this card it's very slept on. A lot of people don't like it, but the artwork is just so cool, and the fact that the bleed is amazing on this. I think this was a really solid pickup. It was super cheap at the time, so I can only imagine what it's gonna reach as the time goes on and the market continues to grow and balloon. But yeah, look at the bleed on that. Absolutely stunning. So another Jinzo. So this is a reprint card. You can tell because, let's compare these two. So the text box, regardless of color, a lot of people say, oh, the color's different, but the color can change just due to print. All depends on how much print runs were made before this card was printed, or and so on and so forth. So right here you can see that all trap and all trap cards. So this is an original print. Reverse foiling can only come in original prints. They were only really pulled out of the tins. And then this one is a reprint, probably from 2010, 2014, 2017. But it's a 10. PSA has started labeling these correctly. So either way, I still love my Jinzos. They are still very beautiful. The foiling is still amazing. I'm just, again, another card that I really enjoy having. So Gaia, this is just a super iconic card. It's a 9. It is a reprint as well, but honestly, I'm pretty much priced out of any first edition LOB stuff, regardless how popular they are or not. I just think the art is amazing. It just reminds me of my childhood. I remember seeing it on the anime, and still really awesome. I think it got the 9 because of the off-centering again. Most of the cards I have deserve the 9 just due to the off-centering, which to me is still a mint card. Is still really clean. Doesn't bother me at all. Trihorn. So this card is really nice as well. Again, the LOB secrets kind of get overshadowed by Blue Eyes and Dark Magician, and they're so beautiful and people just don't value them as much, but just stunning. Serpent Knight. So this is one of the 8s that I have. So I just think it's still very undervalued. It's with MRL, especially because the other secrets, Tomb Blue Eyes, a lot of people just don't care for this card. So you can still pick them up pretty cheap. Even though I've seen 10s going, they're really getting up there. And I think the last one I saw sold was over $2,000, which I think is insane. But this 8 was really cheap and it's really beautiful. I think this had a little bit of whitening on the bottom there, which would get the 8, and then being off center as well. So it's pretty good. This one is really, really nice. I just really love the card. It's super iconic to me. I remember having this in my old deck and just getting that 3,000 points on the field was awesome back then. And again, 9, still a mint card to me. Getting Injection Fairy Lily in a 10 is so hard because the centering was just terrible with LOD. Most of them are just so off center. Like this one is pretty close, but I think the back is off. Yeah, left to right, top to bottom especially. So I think, again, that's why I got the 9. Revival Jam. So this card is just one of my favorites. Seeing this card when Slifer was first used and seeing all that was just absolutely amazing. I instantly fell in love with this card. So I had to have it. They're so hard to find. The pop report is so low on these cards. I think the last I checked it was like 12, possibly. I think, I don't know. But when you find them and they pop up, I suggest really trying to scoop them if you enjoy the card. If not, then it is what it is. But to try and find these again in a 9 or a 10, like you have the OC again, because LON, LOD, the off centering was just absolutely terrible. Gemini Elf. This is another bleeder that I have. You can kind of see it on the camera. It's not really picking it up too much. But again, just a really beautiful card. First 4-level monster that came out at 1900 as well. I think Mechanical Chase was like 1850 or something. So having this in just your beatdown deck was absolutely amazing. The big boy, PSA 9, Jinzo first edition. This is probably my most valuable card, or most precious card to me in my collection. Again, I just love Jinzo. Having it in the 9 is absolutely amazing for me. I'm priced out of getting a 10 and really don't care if I have one or not, because the 9 is just, at the end of the day, so beautiful. I had an 8 and I was able to work out a deal with a friend of mine and trade my 8 and a couple other stuff to upgrade for this 9. And I think it was completely worth it. Just such a beautiful card. Yada. Everyone hates Yada but loves him at the same time. So this card's another beautiful bleeder. It's an 8 again, but I don't care. This car is just amazing. It's so iconic to me. Running this in the hand control deck back in the day before the ban list, it's just, people love to hate it. So absolutely iconic card, and the foiling is stunning on it. Summon Skull. So this was one of the first cards I ever graded, and it came back an 8, and it's you can see it really bleeds, and it's really nice. It got an 8. PSA is getting really strict with their grading, so any off centering, really conduct it. And I requested the OC grade, and I didn't get it. So I think there's obviously something else wrong with the card that I could not find at all. So like, I know like that's on the case. So unless there's a little white nick somewhere that I missed or didn't see, then it's very possible. But it is really off center, left to right, and then the back top to bottom, left to right. So that's very possible how it got the 8. But to me, like, this is, like, again, another big Yugi monster. Super awesome. One sacrifice to get him out. 2,500. Just beautiful card. And the way he shines is amazing. And the last one. So this was also one of the first ones I graded with the Summon Skull. Just a boss. Like, the artwork is just so simple and badass at the same time. It got the 9. I was super excited when it did. Really well centered. I think there's a little like foil marking up here, so I think that's what docked it the 1 point, but everything else was just absolutely beautiful. I'm so glad I was able to scoop this cheap and grade it before the real grading trend and price hyping took over the market. But another awesome one to have. So that's it for me. Glad I could kind of showcase what I have here, and hope you guys like it. Thanks for taking the time to watch my video. Have a good one. Peace.